Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. Can you already believe that we are on our 5th, I believe, our 5th live stream that we have done, and it will be our last one for the month of November. Obviously, next week we have Thanksgiving coming up. I will be busy on the Friday after as well, so we will not have a live stream next week, but you better believe we will be back in December, working hopefully on our North Pole right up there. I've decided to start here in our old storage building, since this is a place that we don't normally come that often, and of course we have all of our armor stands in here, of course not for much longer, hint hint. But today we are going to first of all get some sleep as the sun is setting, and then we will open up our book and take a look at what is on our agenda. There's a decent amount that I want to get done, and it's all pretty quantitative, so we will know when we are finished, and we will move on to the next task after we finish the first. So let's open this up. We can see all of, again, those starred items. Shulker hunting, we are going to begin with this. I'm hoping to get 64 shulker shells for 32 more shulker boxes. That way we can really get started on that. Welcome back to the stream, PokeLawTuber. Good to have you here. I am just going over the agenda for today, starting with shulker box hunting, and then we will be doing some wood chopping. That will probably come towards the end of the episode. We will likely finish that. Last week we started on covering our mountain with snow. We can't really see it out of this window. There we go. We started covering that mountain with a little bit more snow. We are going to finish up the backside of that today. And finally, we have a lot of villagers in our villager breeder that we need to bring over to our trading hall for the second floor. That will be where all of our librarians are. So again, lots on the agenda today, but it should be a fun episode. We have everything that we need, I think, for gathering those shulker boxes, although I do want to take a few more with us, since often those end cities contain some pretty valuable loot. So we are going to load up on these, put them in our ender chest, and we will head into the end and start searching for those end cities. We have plenty of firework rockets. We have even more in our ender chest, so we should be good to go. Although our bow is making me a little bit nervous, but we should be fine for today. We will probably have to make a new one here in the very near future. So off to the end we go. If we do have time today, I would like to extend our nether hub tunnel towards our end portal. Your nether portal looks fire. Thank you. Yeah, we worked on that a few episodes ago, and I really like how that came together. We are going to fly right past those hoglins, and this is why I want to get the rest of this tunnel set up. A, so that we can bring this nether portal up, and B, so that we avoid the dangers of the Crimson Forest. So into the end we go, right through here. I did repair our tools right before the stream started, so those are all mended as well. Now, of course, we have a couple different end gateways that we have unlocked, I think, or have we just done one? I think we've just done one. We could fly into that. Of course, that will take us out towards the regions that we have already explored, but I think we will do that anyway, just so we can get away from the main island, and I completely missed on that one. Now, I went through this portal, this gateway, not super long ago, and when I went through, yeah, this right here is a hazard to us. If we mistakenly forget firework rockets or something like that, that is a very big threat. So we are actually going to cover that with a little bit more end stone, just to give ourselves a little bit of a bigger platform. Why don't you start a hardcore series after ending this? Well, we're not going to be ending this series anytime soon, but I do actually kind of like that idea. Maybe we will start a hardcore series and just go until, you know, we perish, which hopefully would be a long time. But yeah, I think that could be fun. Maybe something for the new year coming up in a little over a month. 2025. Kind of hard to believe it, that we are already going into 2025. But sure enough, we are. So there we go. Our platform is extended a little bit more. That should be a little safer for us. So we are in the positive X and Z coordinates on both ends. So we could go back to the main island via the closest gateway, which is right above our heads, and fly in the negative direction. Or we might just... I think we will actually end up doing that. That will probably be the easiest thing for us. We're going to get a little bit more endstone and tower up to that gateway. That way we don't have to fly. Well, you have Elytra, so no chance of dying in the void, unless we don't have firework rockets. That's the only concern. If we mistakenly don't have firework rockets in our inventory, it will just slow our death, but it will unfortunately be inevitable. So anytime we come to the end, of course, we will always check to make sure that we have those firework rockets on hand. So we're going to staircase up here so that we can use this in the future as well. And misjudged that count a little bit. We will work around that portal. There we go. And back through to the mainland. So... again, that took us out to the positive coordinates, so in that direction and that direction. So we are going to travel in this direction via firework rockets. Let's grab some food before we really get going on this journey. And we will grab out that extra stack of potatoes as well. We will need to restock that later this episode, but we should be okay for now. And we are going to travel in this direction until we hit more islands. We want to keep a very close eye on our Y level here and our angle of attack. And we should be seeing those end islands appear here pretty shortly, actually. It definitely is very concerning flying over the void with no sense of direction, but here we go. We are to the outer islands now, and we are going to look for some of those end cities. Again, we should find quite a few pretty close by that we haven't raided because we haven't been out in this direction. And as soon as we start getting close to that 64 shulker box mark, that is when we are going to locate the nearest gateway and travel home, or at least travel home when we find the nearest gateway. So we are actually going to fly in a straight line instead of diagonal. As far as I know, it boosts our chances a little bit, and right off the bat, there we go, we have an end city. Now, of course, Elytra, that's an added bonus, diamond armor, added bonus, but what we are really after are those shulker shells. So we are going to start from up here at the top and work our way down. Might not be a bad idea to equip a shield and maybe eat some food, but I think for now, we will just see how things go. Do you have an animal farm for food? We do have a cow crusher, and then we have our large automatic potato farm. I actually do have more potatoes smelting right now as we speak, about 10 stacks of potatoes or so. So once we head back home, we should have plenty of potatoes that we can eat. And of course, we're just going to have to deal with this levitation a little bit as we navigate this. We will come back to the ones on the outside towards the end. For now, I like to take care of the ones that are a little bit easier to get. And when we get levitated, the ones that don't send us up into the sky, but rather just into rooms like this. So we are already up to 4. Not bad. So let's head down this way. Of course, some of these end cities have that very large central sort of column room, I guess. I don't really know what else to call it. That, and I missed on that, that will spawn, I don't know, 10, 15 shulkers. If we can find one of those and attack from the top with our bow, that will really set us up for success in getting a lot of shulker shells. So we are already up to 6 though, not bad, and we will certainly take some of those diamonds and the diamond armor with us. We will leave the rest of those things. We'll take the saddle actually, since we can't craft those. We got to get this one right down here. Let's try not to get hit. Dang it. Maybe we will attack this one with our bow. And it might not be a bad idea either to grab out a Totem of Undying and hold that in our offhand, just in case our health bar gets away from me. Who do you think is the most annoying mob? Overall, I would say probably bats. If we're talking specifically hostile mobs, well, I can't really say shulkers, because as annoying as they are probably one of the most useful mobs in the game. So I'm not going to say shulkers. Maybe... uh-oh. That was a big fall. Maybe... well, certainly creepers. I mean, gunpowder is great and all, but at what expense? So we'll get these 2 right down here. And again, we don't want to spend too much time trying to get the ones on the outside, like underneath the platforms and stuff. That just takes up more time than it's worth. We can probably find another city a lot faster than we could go and get all of those. So let's just do one more sweep of this, make sure that we got all of the easy to access shulkers. I think there might be one more at the top of this tower that we missed. So we will head on through here and attack it. There we go. We will grab that shell, and I think that is all of the easy access ones. So let's move on to the next city. Which way did we come at this one from? This will take us away from the main end island. So we will fly in this direction. Creepers, oh man, yep. Can't stand them. But again, that gunpowder is so valuable. I guess if you didn't want to deal with creepers, there are alternate methods for getting gunpowder. Of course, I think primarily desert temples would be your best option. Ghasts also drop gunpowder. There are other methods for getting gunpowder. Of course, creepers are by far the most effective. But if creepers were removed from the game, and I'm not saying they should be, but if they were, there would be other ways to acquire that gunpowder. And here we go, another end city and a gateway. So if we somehow miraculously come away with a full stack of shulker shells at this city, which I don't think we will, then we could travel back to that gateway. I think we will take the coordinates of it though. That will be useful for us. Let's start with this one here on the outside. And of course he teleported, so into the ship we go. We will get another elytra and some other great loot right down here. Come on. There you are. Alright, we'll grab that elytra, get a couple diamond swords. Oh wow. That is a really good diamond sword. We are definitely taking that with us. Anytime that there's that much gold, also, I find it worth taking. Anything less than that. And these shovels, too. Even those boots. I mean, you know, the loot is always good here. Sometimes the enchantments are hit or miss. But those are definitely very nice enchantments. Don't levitate up here. Alright, there we go. There's that one. Did that shell fall off? I think it did. And then we've got to get this one right down here. There we go. I guess we could fly down there and get that shell, but I don't know. I think we'll just head over in this direction, narrowly dodging that last... What are those called? Those pellets. I don't actually think I know the official name of those. So we'll climb up here or get levitated up here. Take out that shulker real quick. I don't think he dropped a shell. We are up to 11 now. Again, the goal is to get one stack, 32 shulker boxes. I don't know if that's going to happen. We will probably go just for another half hour and see how far we get, and then probably head back to the overworld after that. Again, we have a lot that I want to get done today, and the longer we spend in the end, the less we are actually accomplishing. Alright, so we'll start at the bottom, get all of those taken care of. Heal up real quick. I didn't even see that one right outside the door. Let's see if we can take him out real quick. And of course he teleported, so we'll make our way up here. Hopefully get some more great loot and a couple more shells. And I think that's all of them in here. So what do we have in here? We have some emeralds, another sword. Probably not worth taking. We'll grab that saddle. Alright, where are those other shulkers? I think they are outside somewhere. There they are. And a lot of them, too. Is this the one that teleported? We're about to find out here. I don't think it is. I think he was at a little bit lower health. But we'll get the box from that. Let's see if we can get levitated one more time. Get up here a little bit higher. And there is one box right there. We will fly down and grab that. And probably make our way over here to this room where it looks like we have a couple more. Do you have looting 3? Yes, we do. Looting 3 and sharpness 5. Come on. There you are. Alright, so that puts us up to 17 now, so we are a quarter of the way there. Not bad. That room is done. I think we got that tower. No, we got... Which tower did we get? We got that tower. There's still one right up here that we will get real quick. There we go. Puts us at 18. So we have done that room. We need to work our way down a little bit more. There should be a few more down here, a couple at the entrance, and then we will just continue on. And we have another chest room. All right. Let's get these shulkers killed real quick, and then again we will open up that chest and see what it has to offer. And that one is going to stay on just barely, it looks like. Grab that. There's another one right up here, I think, or did it fall and did we grab it? I think it fell already. So we are up to 21, and then of course we have one more right up here, puts us at 22. And in here, another armor trim. We will definitely grab that, some Frostwalker boots, and a little bit more gold. So let's heal up real quick before we head into this last section down here. I guess we have a couple more rooms with 1 to 2 more shulker boxes each. Or I guess shulkers. And he teleported. Get that one. There we go. Let's see if we can find that last shulker. Did he go up on the roof, perhaps? Or maybe down below. He may have gone down below, which, if that's the case, we will leave him be. And it looks like he did. So, we will travel back here, get these last few. We already got that room. And we just have the last 2 down here at the entrance. And as far as I know, when they get hit by another shulker, they duplicate. So we should have a third one now somewhere. But I don't know where they went. And it might not be worth... Are they inside? If they're inside, then it's definitely worth getting them, because that's easy access. Alright, here's one. There we go. And I'm not sure where the other... Uh-oh. That... Oh, wow, that scared me. Alright, the heart rate is going now. So, we are moving on from this in this direction. Oh, wow. That really got me. Alright, props to that Enderman. It's about a month late from Halloween. Alright, next city. We are up to 26 shells now, so we are about halfway from the goal. About 20 minutes in. Of course, we didn't get here until about 5 minutes after the stream, so we should definitely hit our goal. Just go into third person here, get a little bit of a wider field of view. How many shulkers are you trying to get? We are going for 1 stack of shulker shells, 32 shulker boxes. Also, welcome to the stream, John. Good to have you here. And there we go. We have another city with the large column in the middle. So even though this city itself is very small, and we have a gateway, how about that? So even though this city itself is very small, it will yield a very high number of shulkers. Of course, we have some bonus loot chests up here. We're just going to grab what we can out of that, because we are about to get bombarded by shulkers here. I think this is where we will use our bow a little bit. Try to get some hits on them with our arrows. And this is not the way that we want to go. But I guess it will give us a little bit of a break, some time to eat and restore our health before we head back in. I'm watching your stream while studying. What are you studying? Just out of curiosity. Great use of time, by the way. Oh, sweet. Alright, so that shulker got killed by another shulker. And we're not going to levitate back outside again. We will heal up, and we can see the carnage that has been left behind via the XP orbs and plenty of shulker shells. We have another one right here. And I think that is all of them. Actually, not as many as I had hoped. These rooms do get a little bit taller. So let's head down here to the entrance, get our last 2. Try not to anger any Endermen this time. And there we go. We got the kill on that final one. That will put our total up to 30. Halfway there, and let's continue on in this direction. Again, we do have this end gateway right here. I don't know when the next one will appear. We have a city right over there. So let's mark the coordinates of this before we get going too far. This is 1770 and 5531, negative 5531. There we go. And let's head over to this end city, which should yield a very, very large number of shulker boxes. Again, it has that central column, that very large central column. Surprisingly, this city does not have any end ships, which for the size of the city is a little bit surprising. So we're just gonna get through this as fast as we can. Get some great loot while we are at it. And then I think regardless of what we get from this city, it should be enough for us to head back home and move on with the stream. I think that's all of them in here. Let's see what we have in the chest. A little bit more diamond armor, and we have a very full inventory now that we will relocate into a shulker box. Why did we grab that iron helmet? We really don't need that. I'm just gonna throw all of the non-stackable items into there to clear up some space. Put that back in the ender chest. And grab a little bit more of that diamond armor. We have another one out here on the outside. How did neither of those arrows hit him? Especially that first one. That went right into it. We are really going up a ways. There we go. He's gonna teleport, of course. That is the only one in here. We will wait for this levitation to wear off. And let's find a couple more here on the outside that might be easy to get to. Again, if they are on the bottom, that makes it pretty difficult. But if they are on the sides up here, like this one, if I can actually hit them, there we go. So that one I think we're gonna skip, but we will definitely go for this one right here. And we do have 31 shulker boxes in the ender chest, so we are up to 34 now. We already hit that room. I think it's about time to head into that large central column right after we get this one up here. No box from that. So let's work our way down. This is not that large central room. This is just another loot room. No complaints though. And we just got another one that duplicated. Use our arrow a little bit here. And lots of shulkers all over the place. Alright, that takes care of that one. I don't know where that last one went. Right over here. There we go. So that takes care of all these shulkers in this room. In here we have a couple more diamond swords. Smite 3, knockback 2, and a diamond pickaxe. We will take the pickaxe. We don't really need those swords at this point. And this is where the large majority of all of those shulkers will be, as you can tell already. So we are going to attack this again from the top, as we did in the last city that we raided. So we're going to get up here, right here. We might as well attack this one on the underside of this bridge. That way he is not a problem to us. Just gonna see if we can dodge these last few pellets and make our way into the large column in here, where once again we are gonna be greeted with dozens of shulkers. We're just gonna keep a close eye on our health as we try to attack them all with our bow and arrow. So far so good, actually. We are getting it done. Come on. Let's see if we can get that. He's gonna teleport. That's actually better for us. Gives us a better angle here. Although he doesn't seem to be opening at all, yet somehow still firing those pellets. That seems a little bit unfair. Oh, we have another one right up here. And another one that is teleported right up here. Alright, I think this is our last one. Once we get him killed, that is all of them in this central room. So let's see what loot we have in here. Sharpness 4, knockback 2. We'll grab the gold. And we will grab that. Well, we really don't need that shovel. We will take the diamond horse armor with us. And now, well, we have a few more teleporting into here. But then we will run through and grab all of these shells from inside of this column. I need to put that book away. Every time I scroll away from the bow, that comes up. Oh, we have one more right down here. Come on. Oh, there we go. Alright, that takes care of him. And I think we need to get down a little bit lower to take care of that last one there at the bottom. But lots of shells littered around in this large column right in here. And we have a few more shulkers through that doorway as well. Let's hit him with looting. I guess it's the bow in the offhand, like this, to apply looting to a bow. Come on. I don't understand how they're able to fire those pellets without actually opening their box. That must be some kind of bug. But we might as well just get hit. And we'll get up here and attack it manually. There we go. Alright, so that takes care of all of these shulkers in here. I think we got all of those shells. We are now up to 39. We are getting very close. Let's see if we can find our way out of this column. That will work, I suppose. And up here on this bridge, if we can make it. Almost. We'll just break a few more blocks to get up the rest of the way. And of course it's the side that we already came from. So we are going to move around here. There are a lot here on the outside that we can start to attack. And that one did drop a shell right down here. And where are all of these pellets coming from? Because there are a lot of them and I do not see any shulkers. Here's one. See if we can get hit with that. Keep our levitation. There we go. Here's another. He's gonna teleport. Where did he go? Not quite sure. But we are up to 41 now, and we have one more shell back at home, so I think that should be good for us. We will make our way back to the end gateway that we saw, although we do have a couple more down here at the entrance that we could get just some easy shulkers to get our hands on. Well, maybe easy. There we go. We have a relentless one down here in the front, and I guess another one on the side somewhere. So that takes care of that, and I think we have one more. Where is he? Maybe up on the roof. So let's grab that shell real quick. That one did not drop a shell. Is there one on the inside there? It doesn't look like there is. So now I think we are good to, well, we have one more lingering around here somewhere. I can hear him. I don't see him anywhere though, but that will be good. We will head back with what we have. And we will move on to probably the villagers next. Either the villagers or the... What else was on our list? Actually, the snow. We will probably do the snow next. But that was a very successful journey, and now we have plenty more shulker boxes for the rest of our items that are literally overflowing right now. Of course, we have all of our overflow storage in the second level of our storage building, but we have all of these now that we can store those away in. So let's grab the rest of those shulker boxes. Let's put away all of the end items that we got. And those fancy new armor trims as well. And of course, lots of diamond armor, which is very full. So it is a good thing we have all of those shulker boxes. 43 of them now, shells anyway. And then we have a few more diamonds as well in this shulker box right here. We will get those put away. Our diamond quantity is slowly building up again. All of our elytra, our saddles, our new diamond tools. We definitely came away with a lot there. Throw that in there. Our boots chest is full. That is overflowing into the horse armor chest, which is now also full. And where can we overflow that into? TNT, I guess. We will do that for now. Our swords chest also has a lot of space, so we can use that as well if need be. And that is a lot of saddles. We need to get ourselves some more horses and probably start breeding some more horses. That way we can get some really fast horses and horses that can jump really high. I think it would be nice to eventually have horses as a way to navigate our valley instead of either walking or flying around. And our gold put away, so our inventory is all cleaned up. And we are good to move on. So we can cross shulker hunting off of our to-do list and move on to finish covering the mountain with snow. That of course means that we need to go get some more snow. And I apologize, I've been a little bit behind on the chat here. Which type of mob do you think Minecraft should add or you want? Well, you know, I actually haven't given that much thought. Are we going to the end? What are we doing here? No, we are going to the quarry way out yonder. I don't know, I haven't really given much thought to mobs. I mean, you know, as a builder, I don't really think too much about mobs all that much. I enjoy when new mobs are added, but they are not a huge part of how I play the game. So, I don't know. Honestly. Background music is nice, thank you. Why don't you try to complete all the achievements if you get bored of building? Well, we have worked on completing certain achievements. I don't think I will ever get bored of building, but if we take a look in here at our advancements, we actually have a pretty decent amount complete, and a lot of these that we have left, either we just haven't encountered or, you know, they're a little bit more difficult. A Furious Cocktail isn't that bad, but of course, how did we get here? The hidden advancement. Not quite 9 lives, charge a respawn anchor. I suppose we could do that in an episode. We do need to do another episode of achievements. We have done episodes like that in the past where we just focused on doing achievements the entire time. And then of course, about 1 year ago, we completed this one. No, not that one. this one, A Balanced Diet. We did that one as a Thanksgiving special. That was pretty fun. But yeah, we are slowly getting there with the advancements. I would eventually like to have all of those complete in our world. So back here into the quarry, I found a really nice flat spot. I don't know if this was featured in last week's live stream or if I just found this separately when I needed a little bit more snow. And we have a fox here. We might have to bring that back with us. So we have this whole area right over here. All of this stone was covered with snow blocks, just for perspective as to how much we've used. And of course we have a few more large patches right down here where we will source a little bit more of our snow. So same thing as last week, we are probably going for a couple shulker boxes full of snow, and that should be enough to get us the rest of the way. We are going to cover now the backside of the mountain, the side that isn't really seen from the front, but I would like to build on the entire mountain, and if we don't cover the backside with snow, we won't be able to build there until we do that. So we are getting that taken care of now, again, before December, before we start building our North Pole area. Uh-oh. Alright, well, I guess we have a cave under here. Let's see if we can get out. There we go. And of course, our shovel is all mended, so we should be able to get all of this in one go without having to repair it. What do you think is better, bow or trident? As a weapon, definitely a bow, but of course the trident has its very exclusive uses, being able to summon lightning and basically fly through a rainstorm. And of course loyalty is a really cool enchantment on that as well, but you know, it doesn't do as much. I wish it did more damage than it does. It doesn't do nearly as much as I think it should. But it definitely is, probably in my opinion, of course we have the mace now, but one of the most fun weapons in the game, that's for sure. And speaking of advancements, I think there's an advancement for killing a mob with the mace. Where would that be? Adventure? Deal 50 hearts of damage in a single hit using the mace. So I'm not sure. I think iron golems might have 50 hearts of damage. Is it 50 hearts of damage? 50 hearts. So that's 100 damage. I don't think iron golems fit that. It sounds like that is pretty much the Warden, Wither, Ender Dragon. I don't know that there are any other mobs that have that much health. The Warden, yeah, so we... And actually, coincidentally enough, our wind charge platform is almost directly above our ancient city. I forgot that our ancient city is right below the mountain that we are working on for the North Pole. I thought it was the next mountain over, but it is the one directly underneath us. So I think I did mention this as we were planning that North Pole episode, either the first one or the second one. I think it was the second one though. Or maybe it was last week's live stream. I can't keep track of all this at this point. It is all running together. But I think we did talk about having some kind of fun entrance that takes us all the way down to that ancient city. A holiday-themed entrance, of course, but an entrance nonetheless. Something a little bit more sustainable than just jumping into that giant pit with water at the bottom. Because as we saw, it takes 5 firework rockets to get out of that. That's a lot of firework rockets. We could build another wind charge booster at the bottom. That's probably what we will end up doing. So we should be close to 1 shulker box now. I think we are just under that. I like to find more of these flat regions. They are definitely a lot easier for getting snow than these hillsides. So let's fly up and see if we can find any more areas like that. And it looks like right here in the middle is a good spot. Yeah, this whole region is definitely going to look quite different once we are done with it. But we shouldn't be going back to the quarry for stone anytime soon. This mountain area is cool. It certainly is. But also very, very, very far away. I think we are all the way out at 8,000 on the Z-axis. So we are far enough away that we can comfortably demolish this. There are going to be plenty of other areas. Show me the launcher, please. I will certainly show it to you as soon as we get back. Which shouldn't be too much longer. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to build, and it works out great. It launches us above the clouds, and it is quite addicting. Anyway, we won't be coming back to the quarry for stone or cobblestone anytime soon. We now have, I think, I want to say 3 overflow chests filled with cobblestone and 2 filled with stone, plus what we have in our normal storage chest. So we have way more than enough for a long time, which is good. I do a lot of building with stone and cobblestone. Of course, stone has all kinds of uses, and then cobblestone is great for texturing, and there are certain blocks that we craft, that we use to craft as well. You think there's an ancient city under there? They're usually under mountain biomes. Actually, I think we talked about this on I think it was last week's live stream when we were out here. We went exploring in a few of these caves around looking for it, and actually most of the caves in this area are lush caves, which is pretty cool. I see a couple emeralds up there that we are going to go grab. So that is pretty cool. We are basically over a whole network of those lush caves, but we went down searching for an ancient city. I'm sure there is one somewhere in this mountain biome, but we did not find one under the mountain that we searched. But we will definitely look for one around here eventually. So there's our first shulker box. Put that in here, and we will start to fill up that second one. So we are getting very close already. This is a pretty flat region. I think we will work right here. And again, I have talked about this. We could make a snow generator and just stand there with a snow golem and remove the layer of snow from underneath him. But again, that just does a lot more wear and tear on our shovel, since the snowballs to snow blocks is a 4-to-1 ratio. So in terms of durability, efficiency, this is a little bit better for us. Not so many trips to the end that we have to make. Alright, we'll run around and grab all of this. We should be getting pretty close now by the time we gather all of this up. Our shovel is still doing great on durability. Of course, we have Unbreaking 3 on it, so I'm rarely ever worried about that. Alright, let's throw this snow into here, see where we are at. We need about 8.5 more stacks. That is very manageable. Probably just a couple more minutes of clearing away these snow blocks, and that should get us there. Yeah, I was actually very pleased with how that mountain looked and looks now that we have it covered with snow. It looks a lot more natural than I thought it was going to. I was worried it was going to look sort of artificial since we are kind of cutting that line of snow off at a specific point. Of course, we are going back to touch that up later on, but even without any touch-ups, it still looks really, really good and really natural, I think. And I think that is primarily due to the fact that we are not actually covering every block with snow, every visible surface, but rather just the tops of all of those surfaces. We are leaving these sides exposed, sort of like how these mountains around here are, because, again, the snow isn't really going to pile up on a vertical cliff. Now, of course, there will be glaciers and things like that, and we may even include a couple of those, and if we were to find some frozen peaks somewhere around here, we would see a similar pattern. But that mountain back at home where we are building that North Pole isn't quite tall enough for a glacier, I don't think. Alright, so that should be enough snow here. Let's throw all of that into there. 16 more, we'll just run down that row. 13, 14, 18, alright, that'll do. We will throw that into there and make our way home. I'll show off that wind charge booster. Again, it is a ton of fun. And do we want to bring that fox back? I suppose we could. We do have a lead with us. You know, I think that might take a little bit too much time. We will do that later on. But again, great to know that there is a fox right here. That is really, really fun. So back to our ice highway we go. We'll get turned around. I think you can lead a boat now. Yes, I believe that is correct. Alright, and back home we go. Wait, this is our portal on top of the mountain, so we will actually just go through right here. That will be perfect for us. Again, with all of our mobs up here, our frogs, it is definitely a hoppin' place. Well, no pun intended. That's funny now, but yeah, I did not actually intend for that to be a joke. So, let's go test out this wind charge booster. We'll fly down here. Of course, we have our giant North Pole entrance, which turned out to be way larger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, this thing is kind of ridiculous, honestly. But I really wanted to capture the spiral of the pillars right there, and this was kind of the best way, the best layout to do that. So right here, this is our wind charge booster. We will step down in here. We narrowly miss the sign right above us. I didn't think about that as we were building it, but as you can see, we go way up there. We have 8 dispensers, all with wind charge. We probably need to fill that the rest of the way, but that sends us above the clouds, and then we can just gracefully glide down and land. We will probably make some kind of landing strip, I think, right up here. And then of course we also have our nether portal, which we already saw in action. And then we have 2 bubble columns, one going down, which of course isn't as efficient, but in instances of severe weather, where we might not want to take the wind charge booster, the bubble column is certainly a safer option for us. We have our large tunnel right here, and then of course the one going up is significantly quicker. Again, not as fast as the wind charge booster, but it gets the job done. It's really just about having many means of transportation to get up here without having to use firework rockets. And then of course our last one that we built on the live stream, our path right over here with all of those switchbacks, which I think just looks so great from up above. If we turn around right there, I think it really captures a nice look. So we need to cover the rest of the mountain now with snow around the backside. And again, we are keeping it consistent at the same Y level, which is right here on top of 136. So let's grab our snow, put away some of these other items that we don't need, combine our potatoes, and get to work on this. So let's see, it is right there. This is our bottom line. And I think, again, we still have quite a bit of terraforming to do, but I'm just going to get this snow placed down, and we will worry about the terraforming later on. And I think we might just go ahead and go all the way around the mountain just to really get a sense of how big of a space we are working with. And I'm actually starting to think that this will not be enough snow, but we will just do what we can, since I think we did run out of snow a couple times last week as we were covering this. But we will just see how far we get. And whatever we get to, I think that would be a good stopping point for covering the mountain. Again, I still want to haul those villagers and chop some wood, so both of those things are on the agenda. Go all the way out to there, work our way back in. Again, just covering this entire bottom layer before doing anything above it. That way it gives us a better, well, again, a better sense of how much we need to fill, but also where we are going down to. I'm not making an edit of you now because of exams, but I will when you will show all of your builds in one short video. Alright, sounds good. Yeah, again, no pressure to do that. I appreciate the offer anyway. And I think eventually we will have a whole build showcase coming up as we are getting towards the end of the year. I think we may end up doing perhaps a top 5 builds of the year, or top 10. I don't know how much buildings we have to show off. That's at 136. This is a steep cliff right over here. That right there. And we will continue on in this direction. But I'm trying to think of what we have built this year in both creative and survival. Of course, there is the museum, the copper house, that haunted house that we did for Halloween. You know, there's actually quite a bit thinking about it now. And that will bring us around to the front side. So this is going all the way around now. We will clear out these trees just to make some more space for us. And again, full inventory. Just throw these flowers down right over here. And we will get this birch tree. Well, is this in the way? I actually don't think it is. It kind of is. We'll remove it. Again, we will go back and place in more trees in a future episode. You can show all the builds you actually like. Well, you know, there's really not too many builds that I dislike. This one right here, I'm not a huge fan of. That was a little bit rushed, not super thought out. But I think most of these are fairly thought out. And then, of course, there was the A380 build, the museum build. I don't know if I already mentioned that. Our house was last year. The trading hall, though, was this year. And then, of course, our wolf storage, our wolf building. I do, well, that is not what we want. We can't have mobs spawning on top of our wolf right down here. We're gonna have to take care of that. Get some string down or something. Do you have a name for your town? I don't think we do. I think we've just been calling it the Valley, and that is about the extent of it. This is the town center. This has a name, town center right here. The museum, trading hall. That's kind of our town hall at this point, our old storage building, and then the wolf house right there, and that leads to the North Pole entrance, which that is what we decided we would call this, just the North Pole. That is probably the simplest name. The Optimist Town, it's not bad. Optimistville. There's a lot that we could do with the name. Maybe we will hold like some kind of survey or contest or something like that in the future for naming it. After all, it is almost episode 100. We should probably have some kind of official name. I'm wondering if we go layer by layer, or if we do how we did it last week, section by section. Again, I don't think it's really going to take all that much more time, but we will see. I mean, it's all psychological. Depends on how we want to do it. Is the North Pole on the north side of your town? Actually, it is. I hadn't even thought about that, but yes, coincidentally, it is. I just happened to build this here because this is where our closest mountain is. But yes, our North Pole is to the north, so how about that? I'll just start telling everyone that that was planned and not a coincidence. Yeah, I think we will go section by section. Again, it takes pretty much the same time, like we're still placing blocks at the same rate, but it feels like we're getting a little bit more done. Plus, we can step back and admire a whole face of the mountain covered with snow. Trying to think of other builds that we've done this year. The A380 was a big one. The museum was a big one. That copper house, still really happy about that one, the way that came together. Or the 1.21 house. It's not exclusively copper. There's quite a bit of tuff in there as well. Was our storage building... I'm trying to remember if the storage building was this year. I think it was last year. In the fall. But I honestly don't remember. Are there any blocks you don't typically use but want to use more in builds? You know, we've actually talked about this quite a bit on previous streams. Yeah, there are quite a few that we are going to start building with here pretty soon, and blocks that we weren't using but have already started. So raw iron blocks, coal blocks, which we have used a little bit more frequently. What else was on that list? Dripstone, red sandstone, just a lot of fairly common building blocks actually that we just haven't used. In fact, this is the first time that we're really using snow in a large quantity, so there are an abundance of blocks that I really want to use going forward. Which animal was your first pet in the series? It was the optimistic Namer, who we can go visit. We haven't seen him in quite some time. We'll fly down here to our horse stables. And here he is, the optimistic Namer, looking grand as ever. And then we have a few other named horses as well. We have Midnight Rider, that one is not named. We have Patches right over there, Diamond Dust, and that one is also not yet named. And then we have a bunch of empty, well, two empty stalls, and then a donkey right there. So we do have a lot of pets, and then I think we have... Oh yes, we have all of our dogs over in our wolf house. I guess we can go visit them as well. See how they are doing. We have our pale wolves right here, our wood wolves right there, and our rusty wolves right here. None of which have names. We will have to work on that a little bit more in the future. But yes, we have a lot of pets. It is definitely a very lively place down there. I guess we were working on the other side, and I think we're actually getting close with that first section that we've kind of closed off here. Looks like we are. These steeper sections are a lot more difficult to navigate and get snow put onto than the ladder sections, but we're managing. And I guess that's kind of complete, although we do have a area over here on this steep cliffside that we haven't covered up yet, right around where the cave is. This spot gets a little bit dicey, but we are going to cover it anyway. Yeah, the optimistic Namer was actually our... Well, it was our first pet, but that was in the... That was in the very, very early episodes. I want to say he came as early as episode 3 or 4. I mean, it was almost instant because we needed a quick way to get back and forth from our village over at spawn. Obviously, we didn't have Elytra back then, and minecarts were a little out of the price range. So we resorted to a horse, and it worked out pretty well for us. He doesn't see as much riding time as he used to, but again, hopefully we can bring him back here. We do have all of these paths all around our valley that we could put to use, including up to the North Pole. While collecting the blocks, it takes so much time, but while building the blocks, it ends fastly. Yes, it absolutely does. That's why we are spending time gathering wood at the end of the stream today, because it is always nice to just have wood on hand. That is... You know, I don't know that there's a build in this series that we haven't used wood. Actually, I take that back. Because of lava. So our old power plant, our old smelting factory right down here is all stone. And then our new one, which we can see the plume of smoke right behind our chimney right there. That does not have any wood in it either. Other than that though, again for the sake of not burning down the building, I think we've used wood in every single build. Also, I want to say, Pokelaw, I have not forgotten about your request for that small castle. I am still working on the design for that, but hopefully by next week, I'm hoping to have that out. It is getting very close. We are going with a combination of stone bricks and spruce wood. And then I think we're sprinkling in some tuff in there as well. What else do we have in there? There's a good variety of blocks. And good shape too. It's not just a square. It's sort of like our house. There are a lot of different dynamic areas. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to those builds. So I just want to make sure that it is all perfect before I go to make the tutorial for it. Alright, we're gonna get some sleep. Watch the sunset as we do so. And right back to it. Alright, so that kind of covers up this section. Up above, we have another grass block right there, and a few more right there. But now I think it's safe to say that we are pretty much on the back side of this. Of course, that's still facing sideways, but for the most part, we are pretty much on the back now. The north face. So I suppose if we wanted to keep things realistic, we could cover every single dirt block on this face since it gets less sun exposure and would naturally have a little bit more snow on it. But those are the little details that we can return to later on. For now, and for the sake of the amount of snow that we have, we are just going to continue with the same pattern that we have been doing. And now we are also on the other side of the wall, so we are sort of out of our boundary a little bit. Of course, we are still protected by the very steep slope of the mountain, so we have that going for us. But we are pretty much out of the valley now. And honestly, we rarely venture out other than going to spawn, our village, the inn to repair tools, or out to the quarry. We are generally always working within the valley. But as the series progresses, as the episodes progress, and as we continue to expand, that will change in the future. I think it could also be fun to have other large, similar size towns to our valley and have them link up and sort of have trade routes, I suppose, and make a whole civilization. Really give the world some lore. Maybe one civilization sort of dominated over the other and ruled as a kingdom. There's some powdered snow. I think we did encounter this last week. We are gonna carefully work around that. Now we are up here at the top, which surprisingly this area does not have any snow. I don't even know how that's possible. And a little bit more powdered snow up here as well that, again, we are just going to be mindful of. Get some snow placed around that so we don't accidentally fall into it. Sort of make a barrier around it, I suppose. We could go throw on some leather boots, but I don't think we need to. And powdered snow isn't that dangerous to us anyway. Will there be a Thanksgiving special this year? You know, I don't think... Not like there was last year. That one just kind of worked out with the whole food advancement and all of that. But I think we might do our museum reveal on that day. So we are going into episode 98, so we have 2 more before episode 100. So I suppose if we did 98 on Sunday or Monday, 99 on Tuesday or Wednesday, we could do episode 100 on Thursday. I think that would be a fun way to celebrate Thanksgiving. I know it's not super related, and I don't think many people actually go to museums on Thanksgiving, but it would be a special episode, and I guess then it would technically constitute as a Thanksgiving special. A special on Thanksgiving. And then, as for episode 100, or excuse me, 101, we are going to do a whole world tour. That will probably be... I want it to be a longer episode. Definitely... Where's our boundary here? There it is. I just wanted to make sure we weren't dipping below. We are just way up here. But that will be quite a long episode, actually. I really want to go in depth on every way that the world has progressed, and also kind of provide a episode if you've missed the first 100 episodes. That is a lot to get caught up on. So by having that, I want to make it a way for people who want to watch the series, a way for them to get caught up, sort of as a recap, so that they can tune in episode 102 and not feel super far behind. So that will be a longer episode, 30 minutes to an hour for sure. We may split it up into 2 parts, but I think it would be nice to keep it as one. Hi there, Fridays have been so hectic watching while heading to the store. Well, it's good to have you back in the stream. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are working, we already went to the end and got some shulker boxes, and glad I'm catching some at least. Yeah, I am too. And I'm sure you've been going back and watching them, but it's definitely fun to have you live during the action. But we got some shulker boxes earlier in the stream, and now we are covering our mountain with snow before eventually doing some more wood chopping, and we might start moving some librarians into our trading hall, and not set them up as librarians today, but just getting the villagers there so that we can set up our librarian trading stalls in a future episode. We are covering the mountain for our North Pole. And we are getting this all prepped for December. I'm also thinking of maybe doing some Advent specials. Sort of like, they would be a short video, but I'm thinking of doing a small build every day, almost a micro build. Just something small every day that we can have in sort of an Advent calendar. And each day of December, leading up till Christmas, we will have that video go up. And it will just be a fun, small build that I can share with everyone. Still thinking about that. trying to figure out if I'll have time to do that, but I'm hoping I do, because I think that would be fun. Sounds good. Yes, I've watched the previous episodes. It's looking great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this is all coming together so far, and I'm glad we are extending the snow down the mountain a little bit. It will give us some more space to work with. Why don't you build a park with a type of sitting area? Well, actually, we sort of have that. We have our town center, which has a fountain in it. That's that area outside of the museum, that circular area. That has a fountain in it. We have some park benches. We even have one of these stairs with a minecart in it, so we actually can sit in that bench. But we do need a few more just nature areas, I think. That's a good idea. I think we need something more like Central Park, where we have less buildings and it is just a nature area where we can walk through. Of course, there is the zoo project that has been on the back burner for probably about 4 to 5 months now. That is why we still have those camels and pandas right outside of our storage building. But I think the zoo would sort of be a similar design to that, having again, that sort of nature look, I guess. Less buildings. We will have the exhibits, obviously, but not as many buildings. And I'm still not sure where we're going to put that, actually. We might put it down closer to our artificial lake. We will just see. Again, there was that dolphin experiment that we tried. Turns out dolphins despawn, so that was not very pleasant. But if we name them, they should stay spawned in, and then we can bring them. The nice thing was they didn't suffocate or die on land, which that was good. So it's just a matter of naming them and then getting them from the ocean all the way to our lake. And then, as far as I'm aware, we can breed them. So once we have 2 in the lake, then we are good. We are set. So we are making pretty good progress with all of this. Getting nice and close to having this backside. I guess I didn't even realize we're sort of, well, we still have all of this down here, but we've sort of moved to that side of it now. This is the north face of the mountain, which I guess there is still quite a bit to cover down here, and we might as well start working our way up from the bottom. But once we get this side covered, we will have one more side left, and then we will be finished with this job. And by the time we are done, I will definitely be ready to move on from all of this. It is a very, very repetitive task. I would assume since dolphins breathe air, they would not suffocate on land, but I didn't know if Mojang put that mechanic in there. Well, they didn't, obviously. I mean, I had a dolphin out of the water for, I don't know how long it was. It had to have been at least 10 minutes. It took a long time to get those dolphins to that lake, which is why it was so disappointing when I went back there and they despawned. But yeah, throwing a name tag on them, that should take care of any issues with that. Definitely a very steep part of the mountain over here on this side. Could be a great place for a glacier or two. Not much building that can be done over here unless we did some kind of inside of the mountain house built into the cliff. Clear away all of these flowers from up here. Not that we need any more poppies, but we are going to get them anyway. Although the red dye will definitely come in handy for building this area up here. We are going to be working with a lot of red blocks. Of course, the wool, we are not actually making red wool. We have our wool farm that is generating more than enough. But things like red concrete or red terracotta, even red glass and things like that, it will all be very, very useful to have. Now we are just about finished with this backside here. And I think we are still doing good on snow. We are starting to run a little bit low. I think we have a touch more inside of the shulker box. We'll grab out the rest of that. And that is all that we have. So once we are out of what we have inside of our inventory, that is it. So I think we are going to get very close with this. We might fall a few blocks short, but again, that's something that we will go get another time. This is not super urgent. We still have about 8 days until December, so we have plenty of time to get this done, but the wood is definitely a priority for this episode. So let's actually fly away from this and get a look at that, see if there are any sections that we missed. And there's a tiny section right here, but generally speaking, that looks pretty good. We are just about there with our snow covering, so let's fly down here, cover the rest of this up. And there we go. That should take care of all of that. One more right there. Perfect. So now we have this area right up here, and we are starting to move into our final side of the mountain. For how much time do you think you are going to continue this stream? We'll probably go for about another hour to hour and a half. All we're going to be doing, though, after we cover this is just chopping wood, so there's not going to be a whole lot going on that you're going to miss. But again, as always, if you want to go back and catch up on that, you certainly can. But yeah, you won't miss anything super important. In fact, I try to keep important events out of the live stream and reserve those specifically for individual episodes, since there are people that often can't make it to the live stream. I don't want them to miss out on anything exciting that happens in the series because they are busy when we do the live stream. As for the wood that we're going to be gathering today, I think we are going for probably oak. We have plenty of spruce now after the last episode, or the last live stream, a few live streams ago actually. We found out that we could make those giant chunks of wood and chop those down. We still have our beacon set up over there. While studying, I found the word optimistic in my book. Well, it's meant to be then. It's a great word. Very, very fitting, that's for sure. Still are doing really good on snow. I guess we could say I'm feeling pretty optimistic about all of this. But again, I think we still have quite a bit more of the mountainside to cover. Well, actually, that's not bad. I think we're going to get pretty close. Very close. This is pretty steep right here, so it's actually not going to use... Well, actually, we're going to be using the same amount of blocks regardless, whether this was all completely flat or individually, since we're not actually covering the sides. The surface area of this is pretty much the same, so we are going to be using the same amount regardless. But again, we are going to get very, very close with this. I think we're going to go ahead and section it off. We have some powdered snow right there that we need to look out for. But we'll section this off as we have been doing in the past. Make this a little bit easier on ourselves. That will go down to there. And then we will section this going across. Again, we're just dividing it up just to make things a little bit more manageable. We'll go across just like that. And we'll start working in this section right in here. We have a few trees. I guess we can just remove the leaves. We'll chop down the trees another time. Or are these trees that we already chopped down? The oak we already chopped down, but because we have that birch tree there, these leaves haven't decayed. So we'll just work around those, just like that. I bet we are probably going to run out of snow. That is my best guess that I can give right now. I don't think we are going to have quite enough to finish this entire side. Hopefully that's not the case, but it is a pretty big face that we still have to fill in, and we are down to 10 stacks of snow blocks. I think we're going to need to switch the stream music to holiday music when we move into our December live stream. I think that would be very fitting. It'll have the same vibe, but just some more recognizable tunes. Alright, this should be our last night of sleep that we need up here for covering the mountain. Again, we are down to 8 stacks of snow blocks now. Again, it's going to be very close. We'll see what happens with this. Maybe we will have enough. We're not going to cover too much of this cave, at least the inside of it, only the blocks here around on the outside. And again, we will go back and terraform this later on. There we go. That is below our snow level. So let's see how we're doing. Let's fly away, see if we've made a dent in the progress, and honestly, we haven't really made that much of a difference. I think we will get this section filled in, and maybe this right here. I think we will still have all of that left to cover up, though, after we use up all of these blocks. But again, it's not visible from the valley. It's not going to be seen until we start building on the backside of this mountain. So it won't really change the look of things for a while. Just about finished with this section here, working around some of this powdered snow, and we fell in. I guess that was sort of inevitable, wasn't it? Working on this snowy mountainside. Eventually we were bound to land in some powdered snow. We'll cover that one right there. So that, I think, will take care of that entire section now. And we just have this area right here and 4 more stacks of snow blocks. So I think we will draw a line from this tree going down. We will see how much of this section to the right we will be able to fill. And then we will head to our tree farm and get to work on some chopping. Missed that jump. And we have a whole cliff right here that we can't really navigate now. We'll just fly away, check on our progress anyway. Oh, and then we have this area right here that I think we will fill in since it's sort of visible from the front of the mountain, depending on your angle. So we'll just get this covered right here before covering the rest of the back. 3 stacks left. We'll definitely fill in this section though. Two stacks. We have a little bit more right down here. And that will cover that entire section. So the front face and pretty much all of the side faces are covered now. All we have left pretty much is the back side, and then this will be done. Final stack. And our last few blocks, we'll get all of this covered up down here. Make our way up here. And place down our last 2 snow blocks right there. That is all of our snow. So we can fly back, take a look at that. That's pretty good. I think we were right about here. I think we cut off at that tree, somewhere around there. And then, of course, we can fly around to the backside as well, where we've also made really good progress. And we did that pretty quickly, actually. That took us about an hour from gathering the snow to getting it all placed down. So we are going to take a quick break, and then I will meet you over at our tree farm here in just a few minutes. I will see all of you real soon. And welcome back to the stream. I think we are going to tackle the dreaded mangrove tree today. That will be our area of emphasis for harvesting wood, since it is such a great wood, and I really do think we are going to use a lot of it up there. Wow, doesn't that look great? In fact, if we kind of block off the snow line with these blocks here in the ground, that looks like a much larger mountain than it actually is. Anyway, I think we are going to be using a lot of mangrove up there in that build, just with its natural red appearance. So that is what we are going to work on primarily. It does take a long time to chop down, but there are methods that we can use to make it a little simpler. I think what we will do, though, is set up an automatic composter up there. We do have one here in our farm, but that will, in our barn, but that will require us to fly back and forth, which isn't all that far but when we have to do it multiple times, it will really slow us down. It would be faster to just build a second automatic composter up at the farm, just a temporary one. It doesn't have to be all that fancy, just something that we can use to compost that stuff. So we will need some storage. We will use, well, we have quite a few chests. We will use those. We don't have any composters. We'll just make one real quick. So we need some slabs right here. 7, that will be good. And we will craft those into a composter. It's not going to make a whole lot of bone meal that will be necessarily sustainable, but we definitely don't need all of those extra leaves or mangrove roots clogging up our inventory. And we don't want to send too much to the storage, otherwise it will get backed up, so we don't want to do that either. When did you start playing Minecraft? When was the first time you played? Oh, it was probably, I'd have to say 2013, I think, Pocket Edition. I started playing Java in wait, we need an output for this, so we need to extend this up a little bit more. I started playing Java in 2014, not too long after. It was either 2012 or 2013, or 2011 or 2012 that I started on Pocket Edition. That is not... What am I thinking here? There we go. And then a large chest on top of there. I guess that can go like that. There we go. Alright, so that will automatically compost all of the leaves that we are about to get, which is going to be a lot. Put those away for now. Really, we need to store away all of this stuff. We need as much inventory space as possible as we start to do this. We will hang on to the bones, well, this bone meal, and we will hang on to the propagoles. We will throw everything else into there. And it looks like we've already started on harvesting some of this, but we will plant a few more here. Maybe one more. There we go. Alright, and we will fly up here and get to work on this. But yeah, I've been playing for a long time, and then... Or do we want to use our fortune hoe so we don't get any of these leaves? I guess it would be better if we got some kind of byproduct via the bone meal, otherwise we're just using up that durability for nothing. And then of course I have always primarily been into building. In fact, this is the farthest along. Granted, we are very, very far along in this series, but this is the farthest along I've ever come in a survival world that isn't modded. There's another modded survival world that I still play on quite a bit. Do I need to turn the volume down a little bit? I think I will, of these leaves. That way it isn't overwhelming. But yeah, I've been building for a very long time. I was actually a builder on the Greenfield City server. I still technically am. I haven't been on that in a while. I know a lot of things have changed since the last time I was on there. I just haven't found the time to get on there. I have too many projects of my own that I am trying to manage at the same time. And there's a little bit of gray area, I think, with that in regards to after I build on there. If I were to put that build on YouTube, who owns it, since I'd have to read the terms of their server, since it technically is their city, and I think once I build on there, it becomes their build, in a way. Like, they sort of have the rights to it. But I'll have to double check the terms, because I think it would be fun to actually feature some builds and various tutorials from that server on the channel. It's definitely a very different style. That texture pack is a lot of fun. It's very Minecrafty, but it's also realistic at the same time. So it's not necessarily a realistic texture pack. It's a Minecraft texture pack made to look like real life. So it's the same, I think it's 16 by 16. It might be 32 by 32. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's still very pixelated and all of that. Alright, so we have all of these leaves now. We have maybe some moss carpet and those muddy mangrove roots. When we throw all of that into there, that will start to compost. And we are just going to rinse and repeat, clearing away some of these roots as they spawn in. And that is not the tree that I wanted. That might cause some issues for us going forward. Why don't you build some statues to make the town look good? That's not a bad idea, actually. Statues and then armor stands as well. I think we could have some of those sprinkled in here and there. We just have to work... Oh, wow. That's impressive. We just have to work on a bit of a smaller scale. I don't want a statue taller than our tallest building. It's got to be on a similar scale, but I bet we could find ways to make that work. I don't know if we're going to get another efficient tree out of this. That is kind of blocking the generation of new trees to form. In a perfect world, we get a very large tree that extends way out, and then they slowly get smaller the more that we plant underneath it. That was not the case for this one. Of course, the wood will not replace the wood that is here. It will only replace leaves, but it kind of starts to get in the way a little bit. And we can't do that same giant block thing that we were doing for the spruce or the birch or the dark oak. That doesn't really work with these since they don't spawn in vertically. They made one of the best woods in the game one of the most difficult to get. But it's a little bit rewarding when you harvest a whole lot of it. And this one will definitely be nice to have a lot of on hand. As we have built with this quite a bit in the past. We used it over at our storage building, a lot at our storage building. The roof of the trading hall is all mangrove. Alright, got to go, but I'll watch your stream later, but I don't want to go because I think I'm the only one watching. Oh no, don't worry about it. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will, again, the stream will be back in December, so mark your calendar for that. But again, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for all of the great questions as per usual, and enjoy the rest of your day. But anyway, we've worked with mangrove in the storage building, our trading hall. I think we used it some other third place as well. I'm trying to remember what that was. It wasn't this building right down here. Maybe not. I know the storage building was quite a bit because we needed not just planks but also physical logs that were stripped down. So we needed way more than we would have otherwise needed if we just used planks. So it took a while to get enough mangrove for that. But we managed to do it. And it will be a while before we build with mangrove logs again. Although I do think it looks really, really nice. But yeah, I think that's it. We may have used mangrove planks for a floor somewhere. I honestly don't... Oh, yes, we did, in our house. I knew we used it somewhere in a third building. So our house had mangrove, our storage building had mangrove, and then our trading hall as well. Blood Red Fox, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. We are currently working on harvesting some wood, some mangrove wood for some future projects. So we have a lot that we are trying to harvest, to say the least, and we are processing all of our mangrove leaves through the automatic composter right there. We are up to almost 2 stacks, so we've done now 2 chunks of trees, I guess, and we are at about 2 stacks, so we're getting about a stack of wood per tree, which isn't bad. Just grab the rest of this wood, clear away some of those roots and the rest of the leaves, and then we will get some more propagals planted into the ground. That's a lot. Well, it's a lot, yet it still isn't enough. Ideally, we get about 20 stacks of this. We are about to start working on our North Pole area, right up there at the top of the mountain. So we are going to need a lot of mangrove, since that will definitely fit in to that region. Mangrove spruce, obviously, is another one, but we gathered lots of spruce a few live streams ago, and we've been pretty slow to use that, so that's not really an issue for us. And I guess technically, we were talking about all of the builds we've used mangrove in. I guess this one kind of also constitutes as a mangrove build. We have about a stack of mangrove logs right here, which, for mangrove, that's quite a bit. I think we might be able to get one more in here. We will see how this goes. Maybe? Yes, there we go. Just subbed. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Alright, well, we kind of missed right there. We'll just work our way up. Continue clearing away these leaves. This is definitely the easiest method I've found for harvesting mangrove wood. There might be an easier one out there, I don't know, but this seems pretty simple for me. Again, we could use the fortune hoe, or just a hoe with efficiency and no fortune or silk touch whatsoever, but again, I like having some kind of byproduct. If we're gonna clear away all of these leaves, we might as well make use of them instead of just allowing them to disappear into thin air. So that's why we have that automatic composter going. We're not getting a whole lot of bone meal, but we are getting some, and some is better than none. So in a way, the farm is sort of sustainable. Of course, our hoe durability decreases quite a bit, So there's not really a way to get XP from any of this, but we can travel to the end real quick and mend that at the XP farm. Sort of like how a good chef will never let any element of food go to waste. A Minecraft survival player will never let any block go to waste. Of course, that hasn't always been the case for us. In a perfect world, though, that is how it is. So, Blood Red Fox, have you been with the series with the channel for a while, or is this your first time here? You said nice to see you again. I'm trying to recall if you've been in a stream before or watching the series for a while or anything like that. Alright, we will get these leaves thrown into there. More of those roots and the moss. Well, I guess we've been keeping the moss carpet since we can use that, and we definitely will use it up at our North Pole. So we'll run around and grab all of these. So we should be up to about 3 stacks. Again, we are holding consistent with that 1 stack per tree average, which is pretty good, actually. Now we just need to time and see how long. Just want to make sure there's no wood down there. We just need to time and see how long it takes to get a whole tree from the moment that we start planting to the moment that we are done chopping. Then we can get a good sense of how long it will take for simply getting a stack of mangrove. So here we go. We are at about 2 hours 8 minutes on the stream, so we will see how far along we get with our next stack. Of course, we're not getting great trees this time around. That might affect the numbers just a little bit, but I think as long as we clear away some of that mangrove, that should help out. Alright, we are out of bone meal, but we do have some more in our shulker box up there that we can grab. Yeah, these trees are not particularly great. I was hoping we would get, again, some of those larger trees. So I think we will try one more and see how it goes. Make a little bit more bone meal here. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the planting. So this tree is going to be a little bit smaller, but it should take us about the same amount of time, generally speaking. Of course, we would normally have a little bit more wood to chop down, but with the haste, it goes pretty quickly. So by the time we are finished with this tree, that should hopefully give us a good idea of how long it takes to get roughly a stack of mangrove wood. And who knows, maybe we will end up getting a full stack from this tree, and there's just a lot of wood hiding in here, but I kind of doubt that that is the case. And we can always let the leaves decay naturally. We don't necessarily have to get every single one. But I think it's just easier to remove them all rather than trying to work around them, and then we end up missing a wood that we didn't see, and then we have to go back and chop that. So it's easier to just do everything all at once. Yeah, I don't think we're getting a full stack from this. That's for sure. We are at a half stack. But generally speaking, that was close to 3 minutes. So it's about 3 minutes to get a stack, roughly. A half stack to a stack, depending on how lucky we get with the trees. But 3 minutes, that's not bad. It would probably take a little bit closer to 4 if we had a full stack of wood, just because we have to mine all of that extra wood. But that's not bad. And I don't think we actually have any mangrove wood at all at our storage building. If we do, it's very, very minimal. That's more like it. That's what we like to see on our first tree. We'll still clear away all of these roots, give a little bit more space for the next tree here. See if we get another large one. There we go, now we're talking. Mangrove trees are so weird that way, hidden logs here and there. Yeah, they really are a big pain to chop down. But we're managing, and I'm really liking how this tree is coming together so far. Let's knock on wood that it continues to spawn like that. And we got one that kind of ruined it. That's okay. Maybe we will be able to clear out enough of these logs here at the bottom. We don't really have to remove the leaves, but we'll try to encourage the next tree to use a little bit more space. We'll see how we do. That's not bad. I think we will go for one more. Place that in. Throw some bone meal on there. And there we go. That is quite the mangrove tree. We should get maybe even over a stack from this. We will see how this goes. So let's fly way up here. Almost as tall as our jungle trees. And the jungle trees are 1 or 2 blocks lower, their platform down there. These trees, of course, do get very tall. I wish the generation of them was a little bit better. Some of the angles here. I know we have about 5 or 6 trees planted on this single plot. But sometimes they can just get flat. Knock on wood, but yeah. Sometimes they can get a little bit flat on these sides. Similar to the azalea. I knew there was another tree like that. The azalea trees can kind of be that same way. I wish they were a little bit more rounded. But we can always go back and change them ourselves. I'm just always nervous to go in and start planting mangrove trees, since we never know what we are going to get. That's the beauty of the oak and the birch tree. You generally know what you're going to get, especially with birch. Birch, there's really only 2 different sizes, unless you're in the birch forest. But I think even there, birch trees that you plant don't actually grow taller than, I think it's 6 blocks for the tallest birch. 5 and 6 blocks. So you always know what you're going to get with those. Mangrove, they're very unpredictable. You could end up with a very small tree, or you could get something taller than a jungle tree. So that's why we haven't planted any. If we do want to do mangrove trees, we will probably just build them ourselves from scratch. So we should be approaching another full stack here, or I guess another half stack, since we got a half stack from that last one. That will put us at 4.5 stacks. That's actually not bad. We'll just continue to work at this. Of course, this is just going to encourage me to make more mangrove buildings in the near future episodes before we get up to the North Pole. And then by the time we actually get up there and start building, we're gonna have to come back here and get even more. I'm wondering if it might be easier to just go find a mangrove forest and just level the whole thing far away. We don't want to do the closest one to us, since we want to kind of preserve as many of those nearby biomes as possible. But maybe fly out way in the distance. Uh-oh. Well, I guess we'll get that on our next tree. But fly out way in the distance and just start leveling a mangrove forest from the top down. The same method that we are doing right now with the hoe, removing those leaves. I don't know if that would be as efficient. I guess if we had a nether portal. Deforestation for fun and profit. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really done any deforestation projects in this world. We're doing a demountainization, but we are not a demountain rangeization, but we are not doing any deforestation right now. We will eventually. That is a very odd looking tree. See, and that's what I mean. Every single one is a little bit different from what you get. But yeah, eventually we will be building in places where there is heavy forest, and we're gonna have to remove some of those trees. But I think aside from mangrove, we probably won't ever end up deforesting any other forest for that specific wood type, because it really just isn't as worth it as our tree farm. I mean, oak forests, sure, but you still have to run around and get all of them. And now that we've discovered that we can just make the giant chunk of wood, the 9x9 that we do here, it's definitely a lot slower to go to a actual forest and do that there. I love the quarry, nice location, and a lot of stone, absolutely, and a lot of snow as well. That has been very useful for us as of recent, so it's proving to be very beneficial. Same with coal. I mean, we source some coal from there for our power plant. Way off with that plume of smoke, we're really polluting our valley. We're gonna have a brown cloud down here before too long. Maybe we should consider some more clean energy options. I do want to build a hydro dam at some point with a river that goes all the way down to the ocean. Of course, that would just be for looks. I don't think we're gonna have any function come from that. Alright, we are out of bone meal. We'll grab a little bit more from up here. But yeah, mangrove is really the only forest I see worth deforesting. Alright, back up to the top. I guess we could have done one more, but whatever. And it still didn't reach the height of that top mangrove log up there. I hope that wasn't actually blocking any of our tree growth. I guess we'll never know, though. And we definitely have more than enough stone right now. We're not going to be going back to that quarry for stone or cobblestone anytime soon. We do need a deep slate quarry, though. I wish there was deep slate above ground. We have our branch mine way down below our valley here, where I've been sourcing all of our deep slate, but we actually haven't built with all that much, especially with the recent addition of tough bricks. Deep slate has kind of faded away from our palette a little bit. especially with blackstone as well. It's sort of that in-between with tough and blackstone, and typically whenever I want to use deep slate, I end up using blackstone or tough because I think that color suits it a little bit more for whatever the build may be. Of course, there's our suspension bridge right over here. That's blackstone. Our museum, that is tough. I don't think there's any deep slate in that. Of course, our 1.21 house is all tough because why would we use a non-1.21 block for that? But maybe it's time that we show deep slate a little bit more love again. Our hoe durability is still doing good. I'm keeping a close eye on that. And that is another tree down. So let's see how much we are up to in terms of mangrove. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3/4 stacks. Not bad. Let's see how much bone meal we have in here. I'm actually curious. That's not bad either. Almost 3 stacks there, a little over 2.5. And we still have a lot of leaves and mangrove roots that are processing down at the moment. So it's definitely a very efficient way to do the mangrove. In terms of the output, at least. Let's throw a few more leaves in here. We can get some of those flowers in there as well. We definitely don't need any more of those. And we can start to store away some of the mangrove logs in here just to give our inventory a little bit more space. We'll throw the carpet, the moss carpet, in there as well. And we are just going to continue on. That's, again, not the most ideal first tree that we get, but we will work with it as best we can. I think when we clear away the wood here at the bottom a little bit, I think that helps, as opposed to just clearing away the leaves. And I keep bone mealing the ground, as opposed to just clearing away the leaves and the mangrove roots. And that might be the end of this tree. We may have to just return to chopping it down. I wonder if our plot is maybe restricting these trees a little bit. Like maybe they don't want to go out any farther than they currently are. But we have had a few large trees, so I don't know. I don't think it is a huge problem. Although I feel like in the past I have had better success with larger mangrove trees just out in the open. In fact, you may even still be able to see the water pool way down there. There it is, right where my crosshair is in the middle, right above it. That is our 1x1 water pool that we used to grow our mangrove trees in, far away from all of the other land around here, since they definitely get in the way sometimes. But now that we have our dedicated tree farm, I think just working up here is fine, even if the trees are slightly smaller. It's nice to be able to just have this here. And now we have some rain. As long as we don't have any thunder and lightning, we shouldn't need to worry. Maybe it'll encourage the mangrove trees to be a little bit larger. I'm also wondering what would happen. I don't think we want to do this, since they would then be on the edge of the plot and potentially get in the way of other trees. But if we had a single source of water in each corner here, one there, there, and so on, and did different trees in each of those corners, but again, the leaves are going to extend way out in all directions and interfere with other tree plots, so I don't know if we want to do that. But it might not hurt to try. I mean, we don't have any dark oak planted right now, and then of course in two of these directions we don't have any trees. So I guess we could give it a shot. Who knows, maybe it'll be a little better for us. The only thing is we just need to make sure that we don't have mangrove roots spawning inside of our canals, because that would be where we end up with issues. But let's give this a shot. We have a bucket up here in our ender chest that we can use, and we'll just throw down some water. I feel like we're always doing experiments here at the tree farm, but it's fun. It is good to experiment. So let's grab our bucket out of our tools box right here. We have a infinite source right up here that we can grab some water from. And we're going to leave that middle one as well. So we're going to do one in each corner, just like this. And then we are going to have the middle one as well. And in each of these corners, and in the middle one, we are going to plant probably about 5 mangrove trees each, just to see how it goes. Now, in theory, it should be 1 stack per tree, give or take. Well, 1 stack per section of trees, about 5 trees in that section, and then we will have 5 sections of those trees. So, in theory, 5 stacks from all of this. But we will see how it goes. I don't know if this will actually work. It might be a complete disaster. Just mangrove roots everywhere. Let's give this a shot. So there's one. Okay, that one is pretty contained. Those roots go all the way down to the ground. We'll remove all of these away from here. Make space for the next tree. Well, that used 9 bone meal. I don't know if we're gonna get another tree out of this. I don't want to overdo it with our bone meal. Alright, there we go. So that's 2. And again, we're just going to go for 5 trees, or until we get one that's just completely blocking everything. That one was close, but I think we are good to plant yet another tree right in here. We'll see how this goes. There we go. That's 3. Maybe we will start with 3 on each section, and then go around again and plant a couple more if we decide we want to. So there's one right away. Clear away some of this mangrove here at the bottom, some of these leaves. Of course, a lot of these leaves and roots are just going to fall into our canal and make their way to the storage building. And I was worried that would happen. And it certainly did. Those mangrove roots got into there and it created a source block. Okay, well, we're not going to want to do that, obviously. Clear that away. So it was worth a shot, but that is not going to work out for us. So let's go ahead and clear away the mangrove that we have. However, the thing that I did want to have happen did happen. Those connected going across. I suppose we could go ahead and fill in this one here and this one, since we don't have canals on this side, or since the ones in the middle won't extend all the way out to the canals. And again, all of these should connect, which will make it really easy to go in there and chop down all of them at once. Alright, so we'll go with that on that tree. Clear away as many of these leaves as we can. And some of that wood as well. And then we will do this last tree here in the corner. This thing definitely looks like a beast, though. We should get a lot of wood out of this, hopefully. So we'll bone meal this a few times, get a small tree right away. Actually, I think we were able to reach that entire tree. That's a larger tree. That's a little bit better. And let's maybe do one more. Although that one's pretty large as well, so we'll just keep going until we run out of space. There we go. So that will probably be the end of it. We could likely get another 1 or 2 more trees into there, but I don't think we are going to worry about that. So now this is what we are dealing with, this mess of mangrove. Let's get up on top of here and start to chop all of this down. And I think this is probably going to be our last one for today. And then we will likely end the stream after this as well. I don't think there are any other wood types that we are going to go after for today. Acacia, that really isn't all that useful for building, especially this time of the year. We want those kind of softer, I want to say warmer, but acacia is a warm wood, but a little bit more welcoming. Not so bright and lively, but a little more muted, I guess. Acacia is certainly more fit for summertime biomes. We did, of course, use it for our armadillo enclosure. But I don't think we are going to be using all that much of it up at the North Pole. I think we're definitely getting a lot of mangrove from this. We did have some in our inventory from before. In fact, I'd have to go back and look at earlier parts of it to see how much we had, but we are definitely getting quite a bit from this. So we are going to run all the way over here. This is a very large system of mangrove trees that we have managed to put together with a decent yield of mangrove wood. Of course, if we had a spruce tree this large, we'd be looking at stacks upon stacks of spruce wood. We are just looking at 1 or 2 stacks of mangrove. But every little bit helps. I think we're going to try to get this all finished before we sleep here. Although we still have a ways to go, so we're just going to fly down here and get some sleep right away. We're making progress, though. We are getting very close with all of this. We are just about there. We might even be able to just staircase our way up to the top right here. Now, our hoe durability is getting a little bit low. It should be enough to finish this, though. And if it's not, we can, of course, just let the leaves decay naturally the rest of the way. But it looks like we are going to be okay. We are on these final few layers of leaves. Then we will get into those mangrove roots, the rest of these logs here. And then we also have to go down to the building and see how many of these leaves ended up getting filtered into there. We will also have a lot of mangrove propagals as well. Not really sure what we are going to do with them. We may just end up composting them. There's really no sense in having a whole lot. Okay, back at my desk, can enjoy the rest of the stream now. Oh, perfect. We are getting close to wrapping up, but we are just getting the finishing touches of our mangrove here. I think we are, well, we have another full inventory. But we should be approaching 8 or 10 stacks now at this point. Let's empty out our inventory, throw these leaves into there, and have a look at how much we have. We are up to, there's 5, 6, 7, yeah, just under 8 stacks. Not bad. And actually, running around and gathering all of this is going to put us very close to that even 8 stack mark. Well, that definitely created a mess. We're not going to do that again. We are just going to stick with the single source of water in the middle. And that is still flowing clearly. So we didn't have any more issues with that, but we will go ahead and get the rest of this filled back in. Alright, so that will put us at just under 8 stacks here. Not bad, 7 short, and we may even have some back in our sorting area. Let's throw the rest of these leaves into our chest real quick. Get all of those put into there, consolidate the bone meal, and throw the rest of those items that we don't need into that chest. Alright, let's go have a look at our storage area down here and see what, if anything, got filtered into here. I did spend some time before the stream cleaning up and reorganizing all of this stuff, so all of our woods from here got taken back to the storage building. We don't have any mangrove rolling in, so none of that fell into the canal. I wasn't expecting it to. None of it generated over the canal. No roots in here. A few leaves, not a whole lot. And nothing in our additional items chest. I don't think we have anything in this hopper down here. It doesn't look like we do. Just wait for that minecart and then follow it back up. And everything else is emptied. So let's take that mangrove back to our storage building. We're going to leave this automatic composter set up right here. It's kind of nice to have a place to throw our extraneous leaves, and wow, we got a lot of bone meal from that, and we are still going to get quite a bit more moving forward. And I guess that still has items in it, so we will take that back with us and get that reorganized into our storage area. Alright, so we will quickly sort out our inventory, get those emerald ores thrown into there, our chests put back into our workstations, box. This bucket we actually got out of our tools chest. I don't think we have room for another bucket though, so we will go empty this out into our pond, and I really need to fix this right here. These are not water source blocks below this top layer. We could go in and place kelp in there, but we already have all of that seagrass. So So all we need to do is just place a block under that. That has been like that for dozens of episodes. Pretty much since we created that pond, it has looked like that, just because we tried to source some water from it. And of course are we gonna have enough blocks here? Oh, close. We need a few more. I tried to get a water bucket from the middle of the pond, and that created some issues. You should maybe think about building little shacks or shanties in your remote location so you can leave a bed and shacks, yeah. And ender chest. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I have used that in previous survival worlds that I've done on my own. Just having little base camps set up. How much water did I source from this? Alright, well that is taken care of now, so we can finally look at this pond and not have any flowing water anywhere. In the future, we have to get the source from the corners where we have gravel blocks below it. But yeah, I have used those in the past, and they definitely are convenient. And we definitely have the obsidian and the ender pearls to be able to do that. So let's open up our book and take a look. Well, first, let's sort away the mangrove wood. So there we go. 8 stacks of mangrove logs. Our spruce is pretty full. Our dark oak is almost completely full. Our oak could be doing a little bit better. And then our birch, pretty full. How is our acacia? Not bad. Cherry, we will work on that in a future stream. And then of course bamboo is quite simple. Jungle we use on occasion, and that is not that hard to obtain. So overall, our wood situation is slowly getting better, but that is where we are going to end the stream for today. I really want to thank everyone for hanging out today, even if you could only make it for a little while. It was definitely a fun stream and a great way to end our last November, I almost said October, our last November stream. We will be back on the live streams in December. I think that is the 6th. I had to look at my calendar. December 6th is when we will be back with our live streams at the regularly scheduled time. In the meantime, if you enjoyed the live stream, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish. And yes, absolutely, everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Content will still be coming out next week. There just won't be a live. Spend some time with your family, eat lots of turkey, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.